For 25 years, Google has been the undisputed ruler of the internet. You had a question, you Googled it. Simple, automatic, unstoppable. But in 2023, something changed. A new kind of technology arrived that does not just show you links to answers, it gives you the answer directly. And for the first time in its history, Google is facing a threat it cannot simply buy, copy, or ignore. So the question everyone in Silicon Valley is quietly asking is this: is Google dying, and will AI replace it? To understand the threat, you first need to understand what Google actually is. Google search is not magic. It is an index, a giant catalog of almost every web page on the internet, organized by relevance. You type in words, Google finds the most relevant pages. You click a link, you go to a website. That click, that single moment when you leave Google and go somewhere else, is where Google makes all of its money. Because somewhere on that page, or on the Google results page itself, is an advertisement, and that advertisement paid Google to be there. This is the model. This is the entire business, and it is a $200 billion per year machine. Now enter ChatGPT, and Perplexity, and Google's own Gemini. These are not search engines in the traditional sense. They do not show you a list of links and ask you to click. They read your question, process it, and write you a complete answer, instantly. No clicking, no links, no ads, just the answer. And for millions of people, that is a fundamentally better experience. According to recent data, ChatGPT alone now handles over 1 billion searches per week. Young people especially, the generation that will define the next 20 years of internet usage, are increasingly going to AI tools first, and Google second. Google is not blind to this threat. In fact, Google's own engineers invented the core technology behind ChatGPT. The transformer model, the architecture that makes all modern AI work, was invented at Google in 2017. Google had this technology first, but just like BlackBerry with the touchscreen and Kodak with the digital camera, Google was too afraid to use it, because an AI that answers questions directly would destroy the very business model that makes Google $200 billion a year. So they waited, and OpenAI changed the world instead. But here is the other side of the story. Google is not Nokia. Google is not Blockbuster. Google has $2 trillion in market value, the world's most powerful AI research labs, DeepMind and Google Brain, and more data than any company on Earth. They have already launched Gemini, their answer to ChatGPT. They are rolling out AI overviews in search results, which give users direct answers without having to click links. They are integrating AI into Gmail, Docs, Maps, YouTube, and every single product they own. Google is not standing still. Google is fighting back, and fighting hard. So what is the verdict? Is Google dying? The honest documentary answer is not yet, but it is bleeding. For the first time in 20 years, Google's share of the search market is slowly declining. Microsoft's Bing, powered by ChatGPT, has gained millions of new users. Perplexity AI is growing at an extraordinary rate. And the generation entering the workforce right now has a completely different relationship with information than any generation before them. They do not want 10 blue links. They want a conversation. Google knows this, and the next 5 years will determine whether Google can reinvent itself fast enough, or whether it becomes the next great cautionary tale in technology history. The story of Google versus AI is not just a tech story. It is a story about the oldest battle in business, the battle between the empire that exists and the idea that wants to replace it. Every great company eventually faces this moment. The ones that survive are the ones willing to destroy their own business model before someone else does. Google invented the technology that is now threatening to destroy it. The question is whether they have the courage to use it, fully, boldly, without holding back. History is watching. If this documentary hit different, subscribe right now. Every week, I cover the biggest stories in business and technology that are reshaping our world. Drop a comment. Do you think AI will replace Google? I read every single one. Like, subscribe. See you in the next one.